just a couple days ago, unfortunately, there was a really bad fire. Very nice neighborhood, but they are row homes. The biggest damage and catastrophe was the next door neighbor that was attached. So what happened was all the smoke from the one house burrowed up into a spot and then went into the other house, forcing the family to have to, they're in a hotel for 10 days. And just being able to walk in and smell the damage, it's unreal. The house looks great, but it's the damage and the smell that really did damage. We are a contents restoration company. We just focus on being able to restore to like new or pre-loss condition items for the insured or the homeowner. We're surrounded by technology. We carry it in our pocket, especially dealing with very intricate things, heirlooms, the people's stuff. It's very important that we have a very robust system that can help us with our tracking inventory. So how our inventory and our technology helps is that we...
Hi, and welcome to KlikTV. Today we're joined by Andrew Turner, the Director of Business Development and Marketing at Blue Kangaroo Packoutz of Baltimore, a company that specializes in contents restoration after fire, water, mold, or storm damage. Andrew has built a career around helping people recover what matters most. From homeowners to insurance adjusters, he works closely with clients and partners to turn stressful situations into streamlined solutions. With a strong background in both the field and the brand side of restoration, Andrew focuses on building strategic partnerships, creating efficient workflows, and most importantly, showcasing the human side of the industry. We're excited to hear more about Andrew's journey, how Blue Kangaroo Packoutz serves the Baltimore community, and the role technology and empathy play in their day-to-day work. Andrew, thanks for being here. It's a pleasure.
I appreciate you guys. Thank you so much for having me. This is awesome.
Yeah. Okay. So first off, I kind of want to ask you about the time you've taken off. You took a couple years off to travel. Can you share where you went, what inspired your journey, and how it shaped your mindset when returning to the workforce?
Absolutely. So I think a lot of the times, especially in business, we don't really prioritize our personal side and like our mental health, if you will. When I found myself at a crossroad again, I'd been that many times before, I decided I had to kind of think outside the box and do like the unconventional route and like just take a break. And I think it was important for me to take that time to kind of recenter myself and find out what my goals are. We don't really take time to find out why we're here and then like our main purpose. So not to get crazy deep, but that's exactly was what I envisioned happening during that process. And it was awesome. It was well worth it. I strongly recommend people doing it if they can navigate it through life.
Wow. How was that for you? Where did you go? What did you do?
Yeah, I jumped to Europe.
Okay.
I traveled pretty much all over Europe, backpacked through Europe, and then I found myself living in Tenerife, Spain, on an island in the Canary Islands. And one day I was just I was swirling a glass of whiskey and was looking out at a $1 million view and just trying to figure out what my next move was. And came up with a game plan and started executing. Everybody can take time off, right? Like it's easy to say, oh, I just needed a mental break, but I think it was digging into like those actual questions that need to be answered by yourself, like looking deep into yourself and kind of figuring out where am I going to fit in best that meshes with who I am, my DNA, right? So
your values,
everything, right? So looking into jobs that align with who you are instead of trying to insert your culture or how you do things into something that doesn't jive with who you are.
That makes a lot of sense.
Yeah.
And that sounds like a wonderful opportunity that you took. You recently told me about a video that went viral.
Yeah.
One of your clients, while you guys were packing up her things, unprovoked decided to take a video of you guys and was just so ecstatic and so happy with the work that you guys were doing. Can you tell me more about that?
Yeah, it's one of those stories like liking the marketing side of business. If I could sit there and have an unlimited budget and I could do really whatever I wanted and get the top people in the world to sit down and express my brand and what we do and how we do it the best, I don't think I could recreate it. I think it was one of those things where the real rawness of the situation and the video itself really just speaks volumes outside of the words. So unfortunately, this elder lady, she had a really big water loss in her house. So she had water from the second story coming down. So her whole house had to be packed out.
Okay.
I think the video, if you guys want to check it out, it's on my LinkedIn. But I think we had 8 guys there, and all of a sudden we see her and she just like pulls the phone out, and I was about to ask her if she wanted me to help take pictures or just assist in any way. And I was just like, don't do anything. And all of a sudden she whips this thing out and she just started talking. And she was just like, oh my God, look at this company. And she said the tagline. She was like, Blue Kangaroo Packoutz of Baltimore. Like, they sent 8 guys. And then you look and you can see our product come to life. So you can see every piece of furniture being wrapped like to the best of its ability. Everything's getting scanned and barcoded, like that, which will tie into our technology. And then she's like, I would just recommend this company to anybody if you're ever having a hard time. And then just naturally, when she was filming one of the rooms, like one of our guys was like, like just gave a thumbs up, like, hey, like it was meant to. It was just it was so organic and raw. It was great.
That's so
it was awesome.
Cool that she captured that real and raw moment. So let's see. Can you break down the pack out process for me? What does that look like from when someone first calls you and says they have an emergency to like the very end? What do the steps look like for that?
So yeah, we have a 6-stage process. It starts with our initial assessment of the loss, and then it goes to our pack out and inventory, down to our processing, then it goes to production side, and then storage, and then we do our pack back. So in our initial assessment, what we do is obviously we're going in and talking to the homeowner, we're talking to the client, whether it's commercial or residential, and we're starting to build that relationship and that rapport right out the gate. Understanding that us being a culture of things, people's stuff is very important to them. So you know, we've got a bunch of strangers, if you will, coming in and touching your things. So we go in there, we start developing that relationship with the insured or the client, and we get an initial assessment of what the damage is. And then from there, we start a picture inventorying. We do a 3D scan of every job to make sure we're not missing anything. And then from there, we go into our pack out and inventorying process. So once everything's kind of built, we got a game plan, we go back in. And the first thing we do during this stage is we introduce every team member. So again, I can't stress enough that, you know, we're essentially strangers are coming into someone's home and we're touching your things. So it's very important for us to take 10-15 minutes, line everybody up, and just let them go through, introduce by name. And we've seen it just helps with everything. You know, we're a part of you, we're here for you, and the serving aspect gets to come out. So everything gets packaged up and inventoried right down to every piece, and then boxed, and that box gets inventoried also. When we go to our processing side, is basically we're taking everything from the truck into the warehouse, and everything is getting scanned as it moves. So think about our tracking process and our inventorying process is almost like a chain of custody. We know when things are moving, how they're moving, where they are at all times. From the process where we go to production. So anything that needs to be dried, anything that needs to be cleaned, and anything that might need to be refurbished or maybe deodorized, we start that process. And during the whole time, everything's being inventoried again through the whole step of the way. So if you needed to find a product, we could find it and I could tell you where it is in the system. So from there, it goes into our secured storage. We're waiting for the reconstruction side or whenever they're ready to get their belongings back. And from there, we do a pack back. So we basically will bring everything right back. We unwrap it and we put it right back. So this would go right back in the same spot. This would go back in the same spot. So it's kind of, you know, hey, we want to put you back together and put a bow on it.
That's so awesome.
Yeah.
That's
cool.
a really, really good values that you have. I love that you're having every single person in your crew go and meet this person.
The statistics say like one person will experience 1.5 losses in a lifetime, right? So it's like 9 times out of 10, it's gonna be their first time going through it, you know? And so just being there and just kind of looking at it in their perspective, like I'm a homeowner, I would value that process if I were to go through it.
How does technology play a role in your day-to-day processes?
Just everybody's day-to-day, like we're surrounded by technology. We carry it in our pocket. So especially dealing with very intricate things, heirlooms, again, back to people's stuff, it's very important that we have a very robust system that can help us with our tracking inventory. We have a system that we can take pictures of everything along with a barcode, and it attaches to it. So again, every time that piece is moved or touched, it's tracked, and we can see live action where it's at and what stage of the process it is.
That's super important for you. It sounds like.
So and it's really cool though. So technology working with like old school stuff is that we still use color codes. We use stickers on every box to mark the rooms.
Okay.
Right. But then our technology picks that up and knows where it is, and so it's really cool. But there are players out there that try to do certain things along these lines, and without the proper technology, you really kind of leave yourself for exposure and like a liability.
Yeah.
So one of those success stories is there was an unfortunate event a few months ago. A woman had a really bad flood in her house, and her whole basement. I mean, it had like 3 feet of water in it.
Wow.
By the time that we got in there, and she had a lot of stuff. She lived in a larger home, and fast forward 3 days later, she calls us, and she had gotten into a car accident. Nothing crazy. She's okay, thank God. Yeah.
Poor thing.
And she's like, I don't know if this is even possible. This is stressing me out. She's like, but I need my title to my car. It was in the basement.
Oh.
And we're like, okay, putting our perspective in the customer's hands. Like we basically were like, okay, we asked her a few questions. Where in the basement was it? Mm-hmm. Okay, so then we can know, okay, well, all our pictures inventory, so everything gets, again, 3D scanned, pictured. We were able to locate the corner that it was in, and then we were like, okay, so there was 2 desks in that corner. So we're able to walk through her house as if we lived there, right? Because we know it so well through our inventory. And she told us, and within 15 minutes, we were able to go pull the vault that we had her stuff in and locate the box where her title was. And about 30 minutes after that, it was in the mail overnighted to her.
Wow.
So it's like a really cool full circle story about how we leading with a serving heart and being able to do the right thing for the customers. Without that, we would have had to pull, I think she had 7 or 8 vaults that are 5 by 7 foot tall and X foot deep. I think she had close to 500 or 600 boxes. So
wow.
Being able to narrow that down is just such a value add for the people that we do business with, and especially our partners. So technology is huge in our world.
Yeah. Cool. Andrew, thank you so much for being here and sharing your story, not just about the incredible work Blue Kangaroo Packoutz is doing in the restoration space, but also your personal journey and the impact your team has on people's lives during really difficult times. So if you're watching and you want to learn more about Blue Kangaroo Packoutz of Baltimore, we'll have their information linked below. And as always, stay tuned for more inspiring stories right here on KlikTV, where we spotlight the people behind the businesses making a difference in our communities. Thanks for watching, and we'll see you next time.